Hello, Past Alan. Um, Been a while again. I have kind of fallen off the bandwagon. I don't really care so much about getting videos out. And your video yesterday was kind of a point of reflection. I thought it was a very good video, but not so much one that appeals to a wide audience as you were saying that you wanted to, but it was definitely something that resonated with me internally. And it's a level of self-reflection that I aim to get out of this project, but so far I have yet to see much of it. And so it's for that reason that I think the video you made yesterday was very good. The whole extra element of writing the letter to me, as well as writing or recording a video, to me is engaging and thought-provoking. But again, I don't think anyone else would care. And so I'm here to give you some updates, some points, some explanations, and so on and so forth. But first, well, I haven't been around for a while. And a lot has happened in the past 48 days, including, well, I turned 22 for one. I had my birthday in November, and I haven't recorded a video since October, so no shit. So now I'm old, and apparently I'm Taylor Swift. I'm not so certain on the details of how that works, but that's neither here nor there. I even went back to Ireland, as you did, and I had a full D&D game. I ran it myself in the world that you were working on, so that comes to fruition. So congratulations, well done on that. 10 out of 10. Here's some cool new developments in the world of world building, I guess. Artificial intelligence, that's a thing. So I'm not very artistic, but when I do put effort into something, it takes me several hours to get something that's crude and does the job. With AI, however, I can just type in a description of, like, I don't know, a location, and then maybe 5 minutes of trial and error later, I have something that works adequately. And so AI is really helping me with my world building stuff because it gives me additional resources to create illustrations that describe what I'm aiming for. And that's really been a tool for immense joy. In the past 48 days, again, OpenAI has released their ChatGPT thing, their general purpose text AI trained on the internet, and that is incredible because it can do so much stuff. It's like open to the public. You can create code with it, even if you have no idea how AI works. You just type in a thing. It's like next level chatbot. And what I've been doing is I've been getting it to write wiki pages for the world that we're building based on a few random details that I have created myself, and it just expands upon them. And that is so useful. It is like an instant cure for writer's block for me, because even if the stuff that it gives me isn't very useful, I can just edit it until it is. And I find it much easier to edit something than it is to write something from scratch. So building upon things that artificial intelligence has done it's a game changer. It's fantastic how much computer programming has done. Now, there are a lot of scary implications that artificial intelligence comes with, but I don't want to get into that because I'm having fun with the tools that exist at the present moment. I don't want to think about what happens next because I don't know. No one can know. It's such a new and complex thing that we have no idea where this is going to lead. But the point is, I've been doing things. And keeping with this whole doing things thing, I've fully embraced my transition towards becoming a mad scientist. You can see behind me that I bought a resin printer, which has actually turned out to be quite a nightmare. Like the chemicals hurt your lungs, the resin smells bad, it gets everywhere, and it diffuses into the air and you can fucking taste it. Because I live in a studio apartment, I can never escape it. It's also really annoying because you might notice that it's tucked away in a corner. That's because the resin is UV sensitive, so if sunlight gets on it, then yikes. Luckily, I have a shit ton of cloud cover and the triple glazed windows, so it's not that much of a problem, but oftentimes I do have to cover it with a dark bag so that the prints don't fail. But often I just print at night because, well, one of the main appeals of resin printing is that it's much faster than FDM, but that's not the case if you're going for a detailed print because each individual layer might be faster than FDM, but there are so many more layers. The print that's going at the moment in the printer is 1/100th of a millimeter, and each layer takes 11 seconds to do, so you can imagine that would take quite a while. The biggest problem, though, is that resin is not the only thing that you need. With FDM printing, you only need filaments and so on and so forth, so it's not that much of a complaint. But with resin printing, not only is the resin more expensive, but you also have to buy a lot of isopropyl alcohol, and as I've learned, you go through that quite quickly. This is 1 liter of isopropyl alcohol that I bought not too long ago. It's almost empty, so now I've had to resort to buying industrial quantities of the stuff because you go through it so fast. And the problem with isopropyl alcohol is it's a volatile organic compound, which means it fucking hurts your lungs even more so than the resin. It's painful and stinky and gross and just a nightmare to work with. But the print quality is just that good. It's just so much better than what you can get with FDM. So I deal with this, I put up with it because, So yes, I'm a mad scientist in that I will suffer through all of this shit just to get a product at the end that is fucking high quality. The minor that I'm doing is actually almost entirely based around 3D printing. In the first quarter, I was doing individual projects that I probably told you about. I ended up making a keyboard that was criminally undervalued by the faculty, but that's neither here nor there. But this quarter, we've switched to doing something entirely different because you know how grading and terms work in TU Delft. But now it's a group project, and I'm working with 5 other people on repairing stuff with 3D printing technologies, which, I mean, that's kind of the hobby that you and I have, which means that I've actually been experimenting with my own printer a lot more than I have ever done in the past. Like with the ANET that we had, sure, that had a lot of experimenting and tinkering to, you know, function, but that's not experimenting with anything new, that's just trying to get something working. But now though, I'm testing out a bunch of new materials and seeing how things go. And because I have a budget given to me by the university, I get to be weird with it. Like I've got a 3D print pen on the way so that I can experiment with welding pieces together. So that's interesting. The point is, I'm doing things, not necessarily for my own hobby, but I'm being much more hands-on, and I have a much more free and busy plate at the moment. It's not so much trying to meet deadlines. There's a lot of experimentation involved. So yeah, sure, I'm not in Singapore, but I'm not bored. I think though the most important part of the video that you made yesterday though was the letter. And that's something that forces me to reflect on things, and I'm glad you wrote it. It was ideally supposed to be a roadmap on how to succeed, but let's just go over the individual things and goals that you addressed in it. So first of all, weight loss goal. Just did not happen. Absolutely not. I mean, for one, you're in the healthy weight range as you are, and I am not. So goes to show how well that went. The fact that I'm less well off than you. The next thing that you went on about was mental health and how you just want that to improve. You want to not feel exhausted and procrastinate all the time. And to a point, that has improved. Like my mental health is better, partially, than what it was a year ago. I mean, there was that period at the end of spring, early summer this year, where I was just extremely depressed and I did not have the motivation to do anything. I just moved apartment into here and I was feeling quite sorry for myself ultimately. I was kind of lost, didn't know what to do, and just felt down about myself. I ended up not getting any sort of work done, went through a whole set of resits and failed them. So Q4 for you went quite poorly. You failed everything twice. So, well, I failed everything twice. I can't put everything on you, but definitely my mental health has improved on a broad scope. Nowadays, I do more things every day. I'm more productive overall. I'm more active in different faculties. I'm more active in societies. I've joined DARE. I do things there. I'm overall more of a person almost. I do more things and I'm happier with that. I have things to show for myself. So the goals of improving my mental health have certainly happened, but I'm not finished. I don't think I'll ever be finished. I don't think I'll ever be perfectly healthy. That's just the nature of these sort of things. They're inbuilt and part of me. Having illnesses that are chronic are, well, it's an eternal battle. And so any success is good. I haven't, become the perfect person that you wanted me to become, but that was kind of a short time frame, my guy. I'll take whatever success I can get. In terms of the academia, no. Your goals were to do fine and clear up everything for the rest of year 2. Did not happen. Did not happen at all. Q2 actually goes worse for you than Q1, so congratulations on that one. Q3 though, perfectly fine. Somehow, don't know what the fuck happened there, but that went well. Q4, not so much. In terms of creative output though, that's not so good. Like you and I, we both want this Past Alan Feature Alan project to be successful and be entertaining for an outside audience, but that's difficult. Like getting things that are well done and exciting and intriguing for an audience beyond oneself is, well, there's billion-dollar companies focused on doing exactly that. So to guess that I alone am able to do this 182 times a year, fuck, man. Just fuck, That's not happening. And so it's for that reason that I've largely stopped making videos. Like, again, 48 days since I last posted anything. It's because I don't see the value in it. I don't see a point in creating a video that only I would have any sort of interest in. Like, yes, I find value in the videos that you've made, but that's only as a time capsule thing. But writing a message to my past self that my past self can't actually see, what's the point? I struggle to see any sort of real reason to put effort into a video when I know that it's just going to be mediocre. And so I've taken time away. I've not done that. Who cares? There is no audience watching me, and no one's complained, so what's the motivation to do anything more? Lately, I've been feeling this desire to create long-form videos again, going into information and basically spouting my Wikipedia dumps or exploring my hobbies in a very, very detailed manner, like creating a documentary about semiconductors or photography or something like that, whatever extent that is. And I want to do more of that, but I can't justify that when I have this looming creative project over my head. The motivation is hard to come by, especially when I know that no one will care. And I know for a fact that I won't even care. In your letter, you also mentioned music and how you wanted to create an album. No, that hasn't happened. Sorry, bud, but we don't create another album in the short amount of time that you've given us, because that's hard. And I've done other things instead. It's reflections and points like this that make me struggle with the concept of goals. It's difficult to achieve them because you never really know what the process of getting there is going to actually look like. Recently, I've been thinking back on the manifesto video and how there were goals and stuff in mind that weren't really useful. The issue with setting goals is that you set a criteria for failure, not just one for success. If you improve yourself a little bit, that's still an improvement. But if you don't do enough to reach the goal that you set out for yourself, then you failed. And you shouldn't even celebrate that because that's a failure. It's for that reason that I'm leaning more towards going with CGP Grey's ideology, I guess, of creating a theme for a year rather than a New Year's resolution. And for 2023, I've come up with the theme of completion, because I want to finish things. I want to get more projects done. I don't want to leave things on the stove just simmering away while I don't attend to them. I want to get things done. I want to have end products. I want to finish things, whatever that may be. I don't know what the path in front of me looks like. I don't know what things I'll have to end up doing. And so I don't want to create goals that I will ultimately fail. I want to finish things. I want something to show for myself, but I don't know what that'll look like. A great example or justification for that is looking at the goals that you set for me and seeing the difference between us. I didn't get there, but I wouldn't say I've been a disappointment. I think there are things that are still worth celebrating, even if they're not something that you would have thought of at all. I've gotten really into D&D and electronics, but you were trying to get me into music. I'm not what you expected, but I'm not unhappy with the result. So, past Alan, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself, because I know I'll have to pick up the pieces.